Welcome to Newspaper Highlight series of Ajmal IS Academy. Here we will see some important newspaper article and how to study them from mains and prelims perspective. So let's start this. Our first article is on Can Insolvency Proceedings Shield from Check Bounce Case? This article is taken from the Indian Express. From prelims perspective, focus on the factual detail of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016, Section 138 of Negotiable Instruments Act 1881. Important cases related to IBC and debt recovery versus criminal liability. For mains perspective, this article is important for GS paper 2 polity and GS paper 3 economy point of view, and it can be linked to the topics of insolvency framework in India, creditor-debtor relation, criminal liability and financial offences, judicial interpretation of economic laws, and balancing recovery and accountability. The core idea of this article is insolvency may suspend debt recovery, but whether it can suspend criminal accountability remains a constitutional question. Our second article is on when El Nino become an economic crisis. This article is taken from the Hindu. From prelims perspective, focus on the conceptual detail of El Nino, southern oscillation, southwest monsoon, heat stress, food inflation, and climate adaptation. From mains perspective, this article is important for GS paper 3 economy and science and technology point of view, and it can be linked to the topics of climate change and economic vulnerabilities, impact of monsoon variabilities, food security and inflation, labor productivity and heat stress, climate resilient development. The core idea of this article is climate shocks become development crises when weather risk translate into economic insecurity. Our third article is about when mangroves do what seawalls cannot. This article is taken from the Hindu. From prelims perspective, focus on the factual detail of ecosystem-based adaptation, nature-based solution, mangroves, seagrasses, meadow and coral reef, National Coastal Mission, and MISHTI. For mains perspective, this article is important for GS paper 3 environment and disaster management point of view, and it can be linked to the topic of climate adaptation strategies, coastal ecosystem conservation, nature-based climate solution, sustainable development, and disaster risk reduction. The core idea of this article is protecting ecosystem is often the most sustainable way of protecting people. Our final article is about why residential area in India's cities are so vulnerable to fire. This article is taken from the Indian Express. From prelims perspective, focus on the factual detail of National Building Code 2016, National Disaster Management Authority, National Institute of Disaster Management, Fire Service as state subject, and Article 243W. From mains perspective, this article is important for GS paper 2 governance and GS paper 3 disaster management point of view, and it can be linked to the topics of urban disaster preparedness, fire safety regulation, building code compliance, urban planning challenges, and institutional capacity in disaster response. The core idea of this article is fire safety is not merely a technical requirement. It is an essential component of urban governance. That's all for today, and for a detailed analysis of newspaper article, visit the Ajmal IS Academy website. Thank you.